Hello, Sub-Zero here, with a quick update on the Ultimate Iron Man free-to-play. Completed the rune crafting quest. That allowed me to get my rune craft to 37 by doing earth runes. It takes quite a while. I also got my ranged up by training on the Dark Wizards here. That gave me a selection of runes including 138 nature runes and 20 law runes. It's not the best, but it allowed me to proceed some. And so my magic is at 40 now, ranged at 42, runecraft at 37, and the only two quests left, the Shield of Arav, which I have plans to complete off-stream. Nothing significant there. It's just coordinating with another player to get that done. Phoenix gang and Black Arms gang, I think it is, so getting the two together. The real one is going to be Dragon Slayer, and that's part of why I want to get the other combat skills up a little bit. And yeah, the runecraft grind is real. Earth runes to 37. So I took a quick break with some wood cutting, and what that yielded is some rather interesting research. So if I click on this guy's clicking on it as well, and we should see a boost here. You know, group wood cutting, forestry, it's +2, fine. But in free-to-play, you can get the felling handle for a woodcutting felling axe, but you cannot make a felling axe and use it, as those are only allowed for members. So like, I can click here and get the forestry boost. I can get the felling handle. The felling handle for the axe is free to play, but the axe that you would then attach it to is not. So if I go here, go to the shop, felling axe handle, you know, like, I can purchase that. That's free to play. You know, the others, see, they all say members, 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 members. You know, you can purchase a kit too, but you can't really put anything in it, as all the rest are members items. But the handle, so see, members, felling axe handle, free to play. But every axe, and I checked, even bronze axe that you would attach this to make a bronze felling axe, is members. So why is this free to play? There is absolutely no use that I could see to have this as free to play. Some of the stuff you see, that's doozy. This one being free to play to purchase, and then you actually install it on any axe, and that axe becomes members only. The other thing is, looking into it, the best I can get, I think, is an Addy axe, because unless it's smithing, and it was greater demons, I think, that drop it, but I'd have to check. It's basically anything above mithril is a little hard to get. Steel you can just buy direct from Bob's Axe Shop. So yeah, that's where I want to dive into this a little bit. But thank you guys for hanging around, and that's the summary of the recent updates we've had. So we'll be wrapping up. Can I actually... That's not cooking. I want to use logs on that. Okay. I was just curious, because if you light a fire, and then you take the logs and use it on the fire. So it said fire, now it says forester's campfire. And so it's a bonfire, similar to what he's doing now. But I thought that was interesting, being that this is the friendly forester, and now this is a forester's campfire. So I didn't think it would work, but I wanted to try, see if you could. Oh yeah, the forestry pack. I did purchase one. I've got it on my back. You know, but again, you can look at what goes in here. Members, 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 members. So you get the anima-infused bark, but that's it. And so it's used as currency to buy other woodcutting related gear in the forestry shop, sure. So you go here, shop, and so you got the kit to store it, but then it's like, oh, anima bark, can't buy that. Nope. Even the felling handle, it does require it, but like I said, that doesn't give you anything. So unless I'm missing something here, outside of the forestry kit that you can purchase for free, all of this is members. Every single one. And yeah, it requires anima bark. But every single one is members there, and anima and the bark. But you can get the felling handle. Fine. Okay, you can at least purchase something. But this is completely useless. Any axe you use it on is then not allowed on free-to-play. So functionally, all of this is useless. Now, don't get me wrong, the forestry kit does store the bark, so there is some benefit if you go members later. But like, I cut this now, or, well, cut that one. Sure. They have a forestry event go on. I get some bark. Great. I store it up in my pack there. But there is literally no benefit for free-to-play to gain that and store that. Please correct me if I'm missing something. But to the best of my knowledge, everything there ultimately leads to a members-only item that free-to-play cannot use. Members only. And so it seems wasteful to allow that as free-to-play content when there is no apparent benefit. And please, if I'm missing something, let me know. But from a free-to-play standpoint, I'm not seeing any benefit from that particular use case of forestry. You still get the boost. So like that one tree, I was doing it on my own. We're both cutting it. I get an boost +2 group wood cutting. Absolutely great. Love that. Appreciate that. But having the forester shop over there is, for free to play, is useless from what I can tell. So yeah, that's the day 5 updates. So 19 hours into day 5, and a little bit longer of an update because I was traveling, taking care of some stuff, and that is why I was doing the training and also the rune craft, as that's a little more AFK or less attentive. So that way I could make some progress on here for you guys. And I know you can check the wiki for some of this stuff, but it's the discoveries like that where, oh, I can unlock felling axes. Great, okay. Then you're like, oh, I can't make a single one of them. There we go. Let's get this fire burning. Teamwork. It's not a lot of investment for wood cutting. Like I said, I buy the steel axe from Bob's Axe Shop, tinderbox. The hardest part was probably walking here and doing investigating the forestry aspect of it. So can switch to other activities. In fact, I'm still set up for runecraft. But I don't know, is that better or worse? Runecraft or wood cutting for you guys? Runecraft does have more unlocks with multi-runes, but I did use some, but I crafted well over 5,000 earth runes, and then proceeded to use those up with magic, and then went back to craft a bit more, so probably something like 8k total. But yeah. I was trying to get to 750, but then realizing, oh, what stats I have are low, that I could easily get up. I had ranged, but that's now at 42. Runecraft just kind of takes a while. Magic is up to 40 as well. Although that, buying runes can be a bit expensive, but well worth it. Prayer is at 30. Fishing and cooking are already some of my highest, but I would use feathers for that, so certainly could do that, but then that has a sustained cost to it. The feathers, not a lot, but still a sustained cost. For this, the wood cutting and fire making, it's just the cost of the axe and the tinderbox, and then I'm good to go. Now that's 62 and 63, so I could level combat some more. Smithing, again, just takes forever. Yeah, so my options that are in the 30s is strength, prayer, runecraft, smithing. So besides combat, which I guess the prayer goes up when you do combat as well. So, but that is. Prayer is better than smithing because all of your activities, like when I was raising magic or ranged, you bury the bones, you make some progress. It's slower, but it's easier than smithing. Smithing, I was getting that through mining silver, turning it into amulets, and then selling off the amulets, and I got much more crafting XP than I did smithing, but it did help. Yeah, because that's out, 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 out. Yeah, so I've leveled up all the free-to-play skills. I just need to get them to higher level. So, what do I do? Getting the combat stats is good because then your hit points, say your melee stats, they can all go up in a group. That would help prayer as well. They're relatively low at 30s to 40s. Like I said, defense 30, strength 30. And that would be useful because it's 40 for Rune, which is still free to play. Everything above that is members. The reason why I got 40 attack was for Rune, for the Rune sword. The Rune armor was too expensive, but we could work on 40 defense. So that means I'm gonna need a way to get some food, kind of cycling what I was doing before. As I progress higher level, you consume less, but that's gonna use up fishing rod and feathers. Where I fish in Barbarian Village, don't need the tinder box, so that helps save a spot. I haven't bought the Rune short sword yet because the Addy pickaxe is taking that spot right now. How much is the Rune one? Yeah, Rune pickaxe is 41. I can actually use that now. So yeah, that'll be a great upgrade for us. Members. Yeah, Dragon pickaxe 61. So not only will it be a better weapon, it's going to be a little bit heavier, but that's minor. So, minor. Pickaxe, sorry. So grab the fishing rod and feathers. And I got ranged gear on right now. It does provide overall good defense without too much impact on melee, so. Just the range boost. So. Unlike the heavy plate armor, that affects magic accuracy, so. So I need a fly fishing rod, yes please. Oh yeah, I can't move that yet, not from this menu. How many is it? 100? Yeah. Yeah, as long as that stays 100, it's the cheapest option. It's when it drops down. So. There we go. That should provide plenty. Ah, that familiar altar. Hey, Em. It's 60, right? To get in here. Yeah, 60. Okay. We'll keep going then. Just passing through. Also, part of with getting the magic up is trying to unlock. I mean, superheat is nice, but you know we're a little bit away from that. High Alk, 55. So that way you don't have to worry about the shop inventories and whatnot that I've been running into. Nice calm journey up here. It's so long to walk this way. You get used to shortcuts. It's like, oh, okay. Oh, there we go. Hey, how are you doing? That is not the right shop I was looking for. Must be the one over here. It's been a little while since I had a pickaxe upgrade, so... Nope, you don't have anything. That's fine. There we go. Yeah, 32,000. I can afford that. Pricey, but yeah. There we go. Oh, look at that. That's the best pickaxe I'll have for a very long while. So what do you price this at? Is that right? Wow, that is a huge price difference. This was 32,000. This is a 3,200. 3,200. So when I go sell this back, it's 19,020 coins. 1920. Ugh. But don't need that anymore. Why is that, Crocs? So upgrade my weapon, but also helps with mining. Is there any advantage here? If you don't want to answer, that's fine too. I'm glad you're here either way. So, hey, Lydia, and everyone else. Um, glad to be back. Ooh, well, I hope you can recover some ahead of that. I did not realize there's an archery shop in here. There's anvil, but no furnace that I recall. That's why I was checking the map. Another mining shop. Okay, but that's in the mining guild. I don't have access to that just yet. Can't use the banks anyways. Oh, mother lode mine. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what that is. I don't know why. I just wasn't recognizing that at first. Yeah, there's general store and then an archery shop. So let's see what archery the dwarves have. I suspect it's cannonballs. But okay. I can pick up those coins so they're not dropped by other players. They just spawn there, I guess. Oh. That would be why I didn't remember. He doesn't talk to me on free to play. Yeah. That's a shame. I don't want to talk to you. Okay, I don't want to talk to you either. So yeah, Ledia, you recall how I was mining silver, crafting that into the amulets, and using that to get smithing, crafting, and a bit of gold as well? Well, that was a while ago. Now I'm 19 hours into day 5, and I decided to finish up rune crafting, and the rune crafting quest. Got that to level 37, which does not really pose much benefit because level 9 earth runes is basically my bread and butter for that, because it's close to the mine. And so the real only benefit I run into is at 27, I can create 2 earth runes. At level 52, 3. So So I guess let's do some fishing for food and then work on combat. That's strength. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Stab or crush. Okay. Stab, stab, stab. Stab's the best. Okay, yeah. We can go with that. So that way I can level all 3 ways. Yeah, so Ledia, the goal is to get my levels up. 750 is about the halfway point with the number of skills I have, basically. And so some of them are above 50, some are below, so I was looking at what I can do to get it up. Some, like prayer and smithing, will just take quite a bit of time. So that's where I was looking at the combat ones here being relatively low. 30s and 32, and so looking at switching to that. I have the hatchet now for transport. I could drop the tinderbox, but for what I'm doing, it's fine right now. It's just 1 less food slot, so a little less efficient, but it also allows more flexibility too. So, but yeah, nice upgrade for the pickaxe, both for mining and as my main weapon, oddly enough. Because the inventory space. So See, we just return over here, cook all this up on this ever-persistent campfire here. It's a very convenient feature. Mix of that is not great, but you know, that's fine. Barbarian there. It's like, hey, I helped you out, you used my fire. Now what? You're gonna attack me? Sure. Hey, where'd you run to, you coward? Oh, unicorns. I don't want to attack those guys. They're nice. I'll attack you in your own house. Or whatever this is. Oh yay, some coins. And bones, there we go. See, that's what I'm talking about. You just go on a rampage and Thanks for your fish, and your fire, and your bones. All much appreciated. Yep, so long, and thanks for all the fish. It's a shame that it should come to this. Just do it. Oh, there we go. Got that strength level I was talking about. Is this the most efficient way of leveling strength training? No, this is not. Is it me having a bit of fun? Sure. So, wait, he has 18 HP? Level 10 is 8? I'm pretty sure they had 20. They're 9. Level 17. Okay. Now I'm curious, because that... So level 10. Okay, this is level 9. The level 9 have 20. And the level 10 have 18. Huh. And since it's based on hits, I should be targeting the level 9? Because I would get more experience from them, regardless of how much damage they do? Yeah, level 10 has 18. I'm looking at the number up here, by the way. So there we go, level 9, and that's 20. Interesting. Oh yeah, I have steel arrows. I don't need your bronze ones. Those are rubbish. So there was one... try over here. 24. For level 17 only goes up to 24. Huh. Interesting. As you can see, much harder to work through. I just wanted to see the house. So it's only 4 more than the level 9, despite being 8 levels higher. And that's the 17. There's also a 15 over here. Again, this is all stuff you can find on the wiki, but it's in... Oh! The 15 has the same as the 17 at 24. Interesting. So 9 is still the easiest to kill and has the second highest health, basically equating to XP. I wonder why that is. Because essentially the level should say that they're easier to beat, but then they have more hit points than... Yeah, all the rest are level 10. Okay. Well, I'm getting the strength level. I should start collecting some of that stuff, I guess. Mind runes do stack up. And it's not a huge amount, but it adds up over time. That's one of the big expenses, because it's like, oh, now I have Earth, I get an air staff and mind runes, and then I can use an attack spell, so... Speaking of staff, you know, that's not the one I was looking for, but that's nice, thank you. At least I don't have to go far for food, right? It's not big bones though, which is a shame. But hey, it's progress in the skills I need, so. Right? It's like, hey, they actually drop loot, so that's where some of the other options I was looking at, they drop big bones, but they don't drop other items. So prayer is slower, but in this case they drop mind runes, they drop staves, other stuff I can try and sell, coins, as well as getting bones. It's not the best, but it does add up, so. and they don't do very much to me typically. And I have plenty of food either way, so it's not really a problem. But yeah, these guys only have 18 health, so you get, well, you see when I do a hit. So that's 0, I'm not getting anything. And I got 4 strength XP per hit, so like that's 8 because I hit for 2. And so if these guys have 18 versus 20, it's 8 XP difference per kill. So like I'll go attack this unicorn. The unicorn only has 19, so still less than the level 9 barbarian. I'm just clearing out the whole area. Hey, that's a horsey that could fight back. Did you see that weapon on the another staff? Did you see that weapon on the front, and aren't they supposed to be magically defended? So what happened there? You tell me. Yeah, the end game is when you beat it. What the goal is to beat it, that depends on what your goal is. With mine being free to play here, wow, we're just dancing and roaming the town. So with quest list, I can only do free quest, and I have Dragon Slayer 1 left and Shield of Arav, and that's it. That's the only quest I can do. I have arrangements to complete this because that requires another person to do, and Dragon Slayer 1 is kind of the culmination quest. I wanted to get my magic level up and combat level up part of it, so like it says, experienced, and it's kind of the hardest quest in free to play. And so then the skills that are not one are the only ones I can level in free to play. And so then the question is, well, what do you unlock? At 40 attack, which I have now, I can wear rune weapons like I have right now. That's the best I can get free to play, I think. And that, because dragon would be above that. Similar thing for defense. So getting 40 defense benefits me, but anything above 40, now that's not to say you shouldn't level it, as it makes you less likely to take damage, etc., but you don't get more and more unlocks, if that makes sense. Strength allows you to do more damage, but what's the end game? It depends on what you want to do. In my case, it's apparently beat up people with a pickaxe, so, we each have our own goals, I guess. But yeah, for strength, it's the warhammers, halabards, rune warhammer, I could use at 40, like I said, rune weapons, they're all 40 kind of range. Everything above that, I think, is members, armor, this is members only shortcuts. Yeah, so everything else unlock above 40 strength is members, so I don't have access to it. So functionally, 60 woodcut, 60 fire making unlocks the highest logs I can do in the game as free to play. Swordfish is the highest fish I can catch free to play. Exactly, and it's well worth it for the amount of content unlocked. But in this particular instance with this account, that is the restriction. It is a No, it's not one time. And so harpoon, swordfish at 50, sea members, shark 76. So at 50, I unlocked every fish I can catch, and 45 for swordfish. Obviously you don't want to burn them, so there is some benefit in going higher, but that's really the main thing. Everything else above that is members. Fishing, cooking, smithing can go all the way up to rune, but it's just ridiculous to do on an ultimate Iron Man, as the other restriction is, this is my entire inventory, that's it. There's no bank. I can't trade other players. I can't pick up the drops from other players. It's hard-coded into the game. It won't let me trade. That's a restriction that I have as well. The free-to-play is a restriction I set myself. And so in that sense, it is hard-coded into the game as well. As you saw, I stopped by the shop and it said members. So now, Croc, one of the things is if you get members on your account, you get members in old school RuneScape and RS3 on the same account. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 if you look at it from that perspective. Does that make a little more sense? Ooh, almost another strength level. I'm just beating up everyone today. And part of the reason why it's not a one-time purchase is, and it's to keep the servers going. It's a sustained cost to keep going, and it's not like Blizzard Activision with Diablo where you can purchase it and then it's like, oh, okay, now we sell other games. We have WoW, we have whatever to keep the income coming in to fund the servers for Diablo 2 or whatever. They don't have that, and so yeah, that's where part of the subscription goes to, as well as releasing new content. So it's, what is the end game? Is it completing every quest? Sure. Is it getting your stats to 99? Sure. Is it all of that I mentioned at the same time? Sure. It's whatever. There we go, 34 strength. And some more runes. Nice. Hey, get over here. So, for me, with a free-to-play locked Ultimate Iron Man, I find some interesting interactions, and that's part of the journey. Is the end game for this account is to get my stats to complete for the unlocks, and then complete every quest. Like I said, there's only 2 left, and those are well within sight. This is more a victory lap kind of thing, or extra prep, or whatever you want to call it, because it's within sight for the others. I can get the weapons and the armor, but it's just a bit of extra prep because that is a difficult quest, and this is all I have inventory wise. So So if something happens, it's not trivial to just go to your bank, grab another set of food, armor, potions, whatever you might have, and then just go again. I can't. Actually, I can't really do much in the way of potions anyways, because Herblore is not unlocked. But I can make some. I just have to pay the in Varrock to get like strength potion made. Yeah, so this is my newest account in, calendar days. But surprisingly, it's not my newest account with time-wise. For some reason, on my main, in old school, it was something like 3 days of playtime as opposed to, 5 days here. And I look at that and the progress is very different account to account. It's very high woodcutting level and such. And of course members, like I said, because it's shared with my original account that was migrated to RS3. And so just the difference in the journey for each account is ring mold. Interesting. Just the journey for each account is very different. And I have another account which is a hardcore Iron Man. So again, cannot trade with anyone, but in that case you do get access to the bank to stash your items. But after you die on that account, then your stats are locked in the high score. Yeah, Ladius. Maybe I just don't know when a challenge is hard enough. Oh, you do that without a bank? I'll do that with 1 life and no gear and and 1 inventory of stuff. Also, part of getting the strength levels before I switch to defense is attack is how likely you are to hit. That's already 40, can raise that a bit further, but it just means you're not going to be hitting zeros, essentially. You're going to get something. Strength is how hard you hit, and so, like there's a 1. Okay, raising attack doesn't help that. I'm still hitting 1 for. But raising strength might mean like I hit a 6 or a 5 there. And so especially on lower level enemies, you're more likely to finish them off a lot quicker in say 1 or 2 hits as opposed to 3 or 4, even if you didn't miss. And so raising defense does help. It's how you get hit less, but I have a way to compensate with that. It's called food. So they hit me. Okay, after I finish them off, I can get food. But if I can raise my max hit from 5 to a 6 or a 6 to a 7, then I take less damage because they're finished quicker, right? Now, you don't want them too far out of balance either, because then you can't wear the best gear or whatnot, but that's not really a concern right now for me. more mind runes. Glad I started picking those up. They're stack up in the long run. Is it worth it? No, not really. But it adds up, right? Coins. Sure, I'll take some coins. Croc. And the other thing with this being a free-to-play account is you could join me. There's no payment, nothing needed. You just start the account and go, and you can do the exact same journey I have here. And yes, it's a shorter journey, but and some things are much easier on members, different training methods, etc. But 5 days of entertainment and videos for the cost of some electricity, some computing time, and that's it. Yeah. And so I also enjoy the challenge of the world being smaller because it allowed me to better understand the there's different ways to train for Ultimate Ironman, but allowed me to have fewer items to worry about, because if you unlock dragon this and dragon that and all the different variations for members, it's just a lot harder to manage that same inventory if you only have a few versions of each item. It's a little easier. It's available on Steam, in the client of the website itself, their launcher. It's available on mobile, Android, and iOS. So yeah, take your pick. Does that help answer your question about the options to play it on? Currently, this is not through Steam. It's through their launcher, but you can play it on Steam. And like I said, you can just as easily load it up on mobile. And that's true for RS3, the higher graphics or whatever you want to call it. They're both updated regularly, and so this is actually based on the game as it was in 2007, and then the community made changes by poll from that, and so it's evolved into an entirely different thing itself. But the graphics and such are, as they say, old school. RS3, or otherwise known as RuneScape, is the migration of the original files to an updated game engine, updated graphics, and generally a bit easier game, more quality of life updates. So with this, you mine the rock, you compete for ore, and so only one can get it. So if you have 5 people competing for the rocks here, only one of it's gonna get it, and the other 4 are gonna go away empty-handed. It's not the case with RS3, and it's a little more, you don't have to pay as much attention in that the ore never runs out. There's more active ways to get it, but the ore doesn't run out, so you can be a bit more AFK, if you will, and still make some progress. That's not the case here on old school RuneScape. Now it has different ways to train as well, but it's just generally that's the main difference is, oh, sorry, and on RS3, that's where probably the bulk of the money comes from to keep the servers going, let's be honest, with Treasure Hunter. Oh, there we go, 46 combat too. And so that way it's easier to progress, but if you don't want to have the Treasure Hunter lottery, if you will, loot boxes, whatever you want to call them, those kind of things, you can always start up as an Iron Man, just a regular Iron Man, not hardcore, not, well, I guess you don't have Ultimate in RS3, but you can just start a regular Iron Man account. You have to earn it all yourself, and you can't participate in those kind of XP drops or lamps, those kind of things. So you're only available to access cosmetics. So in both cases, if you have an Iron Man account, you're really playing for yourself. You're not pay to win from that perspective, and you can't just cash in a bunch of bonds, get a bunch of gold, and then go buy some fancy weapon off someone, because you can't trade them, so you have to earn it. So now, nothing against people that want to do that, you know, it's not hurting anyone else. Like, if you want to spend 100 million gold in the game on a bit of equipment, sure. But you can also earn that yourself, and it'll show. Oh, there's a genie. Perfect. Now I just need to slay this. That's the other thing with selecting relatively low enemies, is it allows me to get the random events here. Rub the lamp, put that into smithing, and that's an extra 380 smithing XP. You're like, why didn't you put it into prayer? I could, but prayer just takes time. I get, you know, bones every time I kill these guys and bury that. I'm not making progress on smithing though, and even when I do the mining and smithing, there's such a big gap between silver or any of the other stuff, so putting it into smithing helps that catch up just a little bit. So I think once I get the strength up to 40, then I'll switch to defense and raise that. That's a easy 15 levels. That'll help get me up to, not quite, but close to 700. Is this ideal? No, but it's kind of convenient because I'm not far away from the food source. So each kill takes a little longer. And I don't get big bones, but I do get some items. It's a compromise. It's how you want to play. It's that attention knob. I heard it described as... Oh, sapphire. Okay. Yeah, that's the closest one. Just seeing if there was anything closer, because I'll cut that and then sell it off for a bit of cash. I mean, I guess I could be doing that for all of this, but it's like 9 GP, so... The sapphire is worth considerably more, even though it doesn't stack, so... Wow, this guy's lasting a while. There we go. Oh, and the thing that makes, it seems like, oh, it's just another couple of levels. It's not that bad, and in some ways it's not. But the XP requirement doubles every 7 levels. So the grind from 1 to 92 is the same as 92 to 99. So, it gets progressively longer, and when I mentioned there's limited ways that you can level, as like I said, for woodcutting, I've unlocked the highest thing that I can do for free to play. That's not saying it's the best, it's just the highest thing. That's the most XP that I am gonna get per log that I will get for the rest of this account until 99 woodcutting. There's faster ways to do that, but that's because you get more XP per minute, less per log kind of thing. But similar thing with fire making. On a per log basis, I am not going to get any more. Same thing with fishing. Per fish, the highest unlock I can get is swordfish. I unlock that at 50 fishing and 45 cooking. The cooking, it has a bit of a caveat there, as you can burn fish, so when you stop burning fish, then you're at your maximum rate. So that does increase a little bit, even though I'm above the cooking level, so until you stop burning them. But once you stop burning them, it doesn't get any higher. Your XP rate per hour and per fish is the same. But the amount needed to level keeps increasing. That's fine if you then switch later to members and have, sharks to catch or something else. But yeah, as free to play, you're kind of like, oh, I got to 50 and I unlocked everything. Or in the case of woodcutting, 60. In the case of strength, defense, that's 40, because I don't think there's anything, we looked through it before, but armors, this is all members. See, so there's rune, but then everything above that is members. So after 40, which unlocks the rock shell armor, robes, blah blah blah, this is members only. members only for these prayers even. Shields, members only. So yeah, because you can wear the standard metal shields for the associated armor class, but the specialty shields, like they were showing the wooden shields basically, that is members only. So yeah, so roughly my fire making and woodcut are about the same to another level, about 25,000. But the difference in XP from one level, 62 to 63, for about the same amount to the next level. The one's 342,000 and then 382,000 for one level difference, with about the same amount to the next level. So it's like, oh, you're 25,000 away from another level. Yeah. But the difference in that is 40,000 already. But I do have to face a dragon, so getting some of the combat levels up a little bit and helping the melee also helps my hit points. Getting ranged up helps my hit points as well. And so it is useful. Also getting prayer up as well, so that way yeah, these I won't get any access to like I showed you, but so you have I'm up to 30, and so I have access to steel skin but not ultimate strength, and so everything below that I don't have. But then protect from magic, missile, melee, very useful. But then when you get above 45, you see members, 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 and then this requires quest completion as well. So the equipment that helps it last longer. Members, so like I can create the symbol. Lydia, you saw that I was creating the symbol with silver, but yeah. And then the sacrifices, that's all members too. So realistically, yeah, it was 45, right? Yeah, retribution, redemption, yeah. Yeah, so all of these are members. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting off track here. But yeah, you get to like 45 prayer, and is getting more useful? Yes, because that means it can last longer. If you had 90 prayer, it lasts for that same thing you're doing, whichever one you have active, it's going to last twice as long as it would at, say, 45. And so it's still useful, but you can see that diminishing return. Not quite. The old school uses these lower numbers here. When you go RS3, health and stuff is inflated by like 100-fold because it allows more clarity in some of the decisions, a wider range, so you can decide differently. Because like if you hit for a 2, you either hit for a 1, 2, or 3. Well, but if you hit for 2 and you scale it up by 100, that could be 200, it could be 190, it could be 210, and that's all still within that 2 range of scaling. More mind runes, that's nice. See, he's got that whole pickaxe theme going on too. Not really. It doesn't matter. I mean, there are different worlds for different purposes, but it doesn't really matter which world you select. There's free-to-play and members worlds. There's PvP, some of that you would want to watch out for. But, generally, most of the worlds are safe. Most are not titled, but some say like forestry. I think technically I'm on a forestry world. I should probably, I'll fix that later. It's just I'm not helping anyone with forestry right now. And so some of the others are mini games, but any of the ones with a dash next to it is untitled, and you can do whatever. Like I said, I'm on a forestry world. I was doing forestry, and then I forgot to switch. So I'm on a forestry world, but I'm beating up people and yeah. But yeah, so if it's a dash, it's open to anything. They just have dedicated worlds. Like for forestry, because the more people that are chopping on the same tree, the higher the wood cutting boost you get. I think it can go up to 10. And so that's essentially like having a 10 level increase in your wood cutting. So it's huge on free to play, especially when you're limited by the hardware you can use. On an Ultimate Iron Man, I'll be using a steel hatchet for quite a while, so getting an extra 5 or 10 boost, is very significant. Yeah, and so everything I've done on this account, like anyone can do. You can just pick up the game, and you don't even need to interact with the bank or anything. You just can wander around and just have this here, and that's what I've done. You can do that as a regular account. There's not really a need, but you absolutely can not pick up other people's drops and not trade with them and not use the bank in any manner whatsoever. In some ways it's kind of freeing because you just know you have everything here. You don't have to worry about multiple different sets of gear, or oh, do I have the best range gear or whatever? It's like, no, you just have your gear on. It's not the best, but you have a set with you, so it's kind of interesting how I know it's not ideal, but for an Ultimate Iron Man, it's like I don't really care about changing it either, though. You know, where normally I'd spend some time, go to the bank, change out gear for even a minor thing, and it's like this, that's good enough. Speaking of good enough, that was good enough for 36 strength. I don't have another segue. That was it. Oh, sorry. I realized the question you have, Crocs. It's not like you're locked to a single world, like in some of the other games, where an account is tied to one world. You can switch to any world you want for any activity you want. Free to play is, of course, limited to free to play, but outside of that, you can hop to any world you want pretty much. There's some dedicated to activities, but it's not like, oh, you started your account on World 1, you're stuck to World 1 and you can never change unless you buy some migration token or something. This one, if you want to start on World 1, great, and then you hop to World 2, 3, 4. They're not quite numbered that way, but you can hop between worlds without any issues. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so like I am on 460, or sorry, not Forestry World. It's a 500 skill total, I guess. I was on Forestry before. My bad. But yeah, Forestry is 338. For one of the ones for US, you have 398 for another Forestry one. But there's like 301 as a free trade, but you can do anything you want there. That one's very filled. But you know, you've got the different servers, you can see where they are. Different ones covering 500 total for US, Australia, Germany, you know, all different places. So you got something close to you. And so some are restricted, like this is where I'm targeting 750. Well, yeah, because it's basically full at 1,000. But that's why I'm targeting 750 for skill total, because then that unlocks basically all the worlds for me. So I'm on 500 now, because I have greater than 500. But basically, of the free-to-play ones, that would open up essentially everything. I don't know what to tell you there. What I remember is, you know, over 20 years ago, try and create the account, put in Sub-Zero, it didn't work, and it's like, okay, I'll put in 2. And they're like, why didn't you put in 1? Because Sub-Zero 1 is dumb. Sub-Zero 2, now that's sweet. And so, RS, underscore Sub-Zero underscore 2. I wonder where that could have come from on Twitch. I can't possibly think of what RS could stand for, and a name like Sub-Zero 2. Yeah, well, I chose a very different look temporarily. Mohawk style? Nah. Like I said, right now it's more utilitarian. I'm using the spaces for like the forestry pack in case I get the event so I can store some of the items. But again, if anyone knows, that seems almost useless for free-to-play, as you can't unlock any of the items. Even the felling axe handle can't be used because it creates a members-only item. But if I misunderstood that, please let me know. And then I have the Earth Tiara, so I can switch to Runecraft fairly easily. And so it's more out of utility than optimization. So like, I have ranged armor on, but I have the Runecraft Tiara on for my headgear. Is that going to help your defense or anything like that? No, not really. But it means I don't have to go craft it again. And it doesn't take up an inventory slot, so that's why I did that. Ooh, mind runes. Are these huge drops? No, but they add up, so. And magic is the thing I do need to increase to get superheat and high alch. That's some of my main goals there. So that's where any rune drops is kind of nice. So, Lediath. See, they're barbarians. They're used to this kind of thing. So it's not that they don't care. It's just that it's a competition among, you know, like, think of it like a duel. Would you interfere with a duel or a bout, a boxing match? No, this is just a show of strength. Yes, it happens to be to the death, but we both have weapons. They just happen to keep coming at me. I can't help that. It's like a boss rush, right? I just show up as some like legendary adventurer and they're like, be our chief, and it's like, no, I'm not interested in politics. I want an adventure. This actually starts to add up to a good bit of gold after a while. It's like, oh, 27 gold. Oh, it's not that much. Then it's like, they dropped it 10 times. They dropped it 100 times. It's like, oh, yeah. Like, okay, that was 5. The other one was 27. But it's a fairly consistent drop, and so, you know, when I only have 25,000 basically, it makes up a non-significant, or a not insignificant portion. There we go. Not insignificant portion of my current funds. Although, keep in mind, I said it doubles every 7 levels, so like, I started at 32, 33. So, by the time... Ooh, chaos. Sorry, got distracted again. Yeah, chaos are like 54 each, probably. Okay. Yeah, they're rather expensive for me to purchase, so that's a very nice find. Not the main thing I go here for runes. That's where I was doing Dark Wizards for runes, but I'll take it. Oh, Lydia, did I tell you the story? There's a quest in here. Below Ice Mountain. Yeah, so you have to create a sandwich for the guy. He asked for some roast beef or something like that, roast beef sandwich. Doesn't say it in the log. Okay, anyway, I was hoping it was going to show it like the steps, but it just says it's complete. Anyway, so I was training combat, and he wanted a roast beef sandwich. Basically, you take a knife, you cut some bread, use cooked meat, and you know it's intended to be beef that you cook this cooked meat you use. Well, I didn't have any roast beef because I was coming out of the swamps where I was fighting frogs, giant frogs, and rats, and so I had some raw rat meat. And you might see where this is going already. I proceeded to cook up that rat meat, slap it on a sandwich, and serve it to him. He says, "Oh, tastes a little funny, but it's not bad." Yes. It just required cooked meat, and so once you cook the rat meat, it becomes cooked meat. So it let me use it. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I know why that tastes funny, but I'm also not going to tell you what's in it. Just don't ask questions. More seasoning, and that's all you need to know. You're good. But then again, there's also all sorts of references in this game. There's one in a church in one of the pews with a guy sleeping. That's a reference to Jeremy Clarkson. Kylie Minogue is also referenced in this game. There's references to books from Morrowind and Oblivion in here as well. So. But yeah, I gave the guy not a roast beef sandwich or whatever he was asking for. It wasn't a Philly cheesesteak. It was a rat meat sandwich. Hey, I was starving, so I was eating rat meat, so I didn't mind. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Lydia. Try and catch you when I'm able, so. That's not too far away. So yeah, my main goal now is to get my skills up, and the bulk of that is combat related, because you have 4 skills raised directly from melee, indirectly through bones with prayer. Then you also have ranged and magic. Magic being the more utility skill offering, but also more expensive. Similar thing with ranged, is if you can recover arrows, then that's great. But there's a little bit of a cost with that, so. Almost there. There we go. 37 strength. They didn't drop very frequently, but probably worth grabbing just in case. Anyways, that's where I'll be wrapping up. Thank you guys for hanging out. Was that 5 levels in strength, combat increase, etc. And so, well, we're well on the way to prep for completing up all the quest and generally just continuing the training in skills after that point. So thank you guys for hanging out, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.